New Orleans is running out of time. 20 years after Hurricane Katrina killed nearly 2,000 people and caused over $150 billion in damage, the billion-dollar levee system built to protect the city is sinking, and the money to fix it is gone. If nothing changes, another storm could erase an American city in our lifetime. By the end of this, you will see not just the cracks in concrete, but the cracks in our democracy, and you will have to decide. Do we protect lives, or do we let greed and neglect wash them away? Subscribe now, not as a favor to me, but as a stand with a community refusing to stay silent. This channel is about justice, truth, and fighting for the people abandoned by those in power. When you hit subscribe, you're joining that movement. Hurricane Katrina was supposed to be a turning point. The United States government poured $14.4 billion into rebuilding nearly 200 miles of levees, walls, and gates, constructing the lake-borne surge barrier, a 2-mile shield said to be among the most sophisticated flood defenses in the world. Engineers promised safety until the year 2057, but here is the truth they never advertised. The ground under New Orleans is sinking, and so are the levees, by as much as 2 inches every single year. The very system built to prevent another Katrina is collapsing under its own weight, and the budgets meant to maintain it? Slashed to ribbons. So tell me, how does a nation that spends nearly $1 trillion on war every year claim it cannot afford to keep one of its greatest cities above water? Would you stay in New Orleans knowing the levees are sinking, or would you leave? Drop your answer in the comments, because this is not just about one city, it is about every coastal community staring down the climate crisis. Look closer at the corrosion, federal money drying up, local authorities forced to cut corners, wetlands that once softened storm surges gone. The Mid-Barataria sediment diversion, a $3 billion plan to restore Louisiana's natural buffer, was killed off by politics, by short-term profit, by cowardice. Oysters mattered more than human lives. Democracy drowns when silence reigns. Is this what democracy is supposed to look like, when we know better and still do worse? Let's not forget, these failures always fall hardest on the poorest, blackest neighborhoods. During Katrina, it was the lower 9th Ward that drowned. It was communities of color left stranded on rooftops while politicians debated whether the city was even worth saving. A Speaker of the House even said rebuilding New Orleans doesn't make sense, and parts of it could be bulldozed. That prejudice never disappeared. It just got dressed up as budget cuts and bureaucratic delay. So here's a question to you. Who should pay to keep New Orleans safe? The federal government, the state, or the corporations that profit from the Gulf? Comment where you stand. This is not just about history. Storms are getting stronger. Climate change is turning 100-year events into once-a-decade disasters. The Army Corps built for a world that no longer exists, and Congress acts only after tragedy, not before. Are we waiting for another Katrina to force action, or will we act now? Social scientists call it cognitive dissonance. We believe in equality, compassion, human dignity, but tolerate a system that leaves millions exposed to disaster. That gap between values and reality is where democracy rots. And here's the hard truth. If we don't demand accountability, then we are complicit in the collapse. Do you believe a major American city could be abandoned in our lifetime? Say it in the comments, because silence is not neutral, it's consent. The truth cannot be buried. 20 years after Katrina, levees built to save New Orleans are sinking, starving for money, and leaving people vulnerable again. That is the headline. That is the warning. And if we let this cycle repeat, we are not only letting a city drown, we are drowning our own conscience. If this shocked you, comment below. If it enraged you, share it. If you believe America cannot abandon its people again, then like, subscribe, and spread this everywhere. 20 years after Katrina, the levees are failing. The question now is, will we fail too?